Hi, beautiful teachers. It's wonderful and amazing to be back with you again for another fabulous teaching chat, this time on a Wednesday. Happy 2018. Welcome to a new year of piano teaching. Today, what I have to share with you is just 3 little ways that you can bring the circle of fifths into your lessons. So if this is something that you neglect with your earlier stage students, and maybe you don't fully realize the power that the circle of fifths can have in your lessons, I want you to consider these 3 ways to use it. So really quickly, they are using it in Decide Now. Now this is an iPad app, iPhone as well, and it's basically just a spinning wheel that you can use to decide on various things. It can be used for anything really, but I like to enter the scales and chords that we're working on as a circle of fifths in that, just so that they're seeing that a little bit more often. And you can even refer to it. Okay, it landed on F. Now what does that mean? Because it's beside C, so how many flats is it going to have, etc., etc. So that's a great way to just subtly bring it into lessons without having to talk about it too clearly and in too much depth. The second way is to do it as the starting point for compositions. Now the way I do this is actually my older students, they have a sheet, an assignment sheet with the circle of fifths, actually 2 circle of fifths, a major version and a minor version up the top. And we use that as a starting point for compositions sometimes. So we'll just highlight a chord, we'll choose a key, perhaps one they're working on for one of their pieces. And we'll start from that chord and then choose the ones either side of it, and that's the starting point for a composition, which is a great way to get started with a chord progression, which could lead to a melody, which could lead to all sorts of other stuff. And the final way of my 3 ways to bring the circle of fifths into your lessons is to use some games, of course, because I love games, and I just released a new one that is particularly relevant right now for this circle of fifths discussion. So this is called Signature Spiral, and the way this works, we've got these cards and they just have key signatures on the back, or signature spiral cards, and then there's this board, and this is my favorite part of this game. So this is what the board looks like. It's actually a spiraling circle of fifths, so it continues all the way into the center, and they need to move through that spiral using their key signature cards to get acquainted with the circle of fifths and also to practice key signatures. So it just has that extra reinforcement of the circle of fifths. This is one of 5 brand new games that I've just released in the Vibrant Music Teaching Library, so I just want to show you the other 4 really quickly while I have you. This one is called Closer Look. And this was a request from a member who said that their students were confusing various different notes that sort of look similar but not. So an example of this would be, I have the C in here, and I also have the E that lives below and the A that lives above the treble clef. Because you know, students see that ledger line and they go, middle C, right? Well, this is to combat stuff like that happening. So we have these boards, and students have to lay down the cards as quickly as they can in the correct places. And there's a trash can at the bottom for the ones that don't fit in any of the places, because there are some trick ones in there. And they lay them down as quickly as they possibly can, but they have to be all correct, right? So it's just a really quick way to get them to identify those different notes that look the same, kind of, but are not the same. The next one is called For Your Supper. So it's a play on Sing for Your Supper. And this is an oral game, so it includes MP3 tracks that you can use with your students. It can also be used just with you playing the piano or any instrument to give audio samples for your students. And we have Sing for Your Supper cards, as it's inspired by that. And we also have Clap for Your Supper cards. Can't quite see them there, but there they are, Clap for Your Supper cards. So depending on what they get, they need to try and collect the little eggs, which are on the front of the cards. There's the egg, and they need to collect a certain amount of eggs by singing and clapping back these various little audio samples. And as I say, it's completely adaptable to level, because you can just play on the piano whatever it is that suits you for an exam that's coming up or whatever it is you have. The next one is called Rhythm Skirmish. And this is a fiendishly difficult one. This was inspired by my own students struggling with rest groupings. So, you know, when you have a particular time signature, whether that's going to be a dotted crotchet rest or a quaver rest and a crotchet rest that fits in that gap. So in this game, they're laying out time signatures followed by notes, and they need to make it make sense grouping wise. And if they make a mistake, of course, they lose all their cards. So that's a high pressure situation. And the final one of the new games in the library is called Term Teleport. Now, Term Teleport is twofold. Well, there's always a couple of things going on in my games because I like to really get our money's worth, but this is a massive board. It's not going to fit on the screen. Anyway, that's what it looks like. So it's a railway, and students move along the railway using these Grand Staff cards. Now, the Grand Staff cards this is an early intermediate game, so they tend towards the ledger line notes, like that one, up to 3 ledger lines, I think I went, but there's a lot more, you know, trickier notes. They're not so many of the easy ones in there, and they move along the railway using those. So if they get it right, they go to the next station on that railway. But the super fun part is where we have these little guys, right? Oh, that's difficult to do. These little guys right here, those are the teleporters. If they land on one of those, they can take a term teleport card. And they flip these over. They have various music terms on them. This is Allegretto, all different intermediate level terms on there. And if they get it right, they can take the teleporter and they leap ahead lots of stations. So that's just a really fun trick in there. Like I say, they can keep going through the note names. So if they get all their term teleport cards wrong, that's fine. They're still playing. They're still in the game. But it gives them a huge advantage if they know their Italian terms. So those are the 5 new games that I've just added to the library, and the 3 ways that you can use the circle of fifths in your lesson. I hope that gets you fired up for going back to teaching and incorporating these ideas with your students. If you're watching right now and you're enjoying this video, I'd love it if you subscribe. And also, before I let you go, I want to let you know that the Vibrant Music Teaching Library membership is going up, and it is going up in about 28 hours from now. So if you're watching this, you might want to hop on over there straight away. It's $10.95 US per month right now. Or you can pay annually and save a little bit more even. And it's going up, like I say, in about 28 hours. So if you did want to get that, if you've been thinking about it, if those games look awesome, or you want to get more games like that, there's currently 74 games and a bunch of other resources in the library. Hop on over to vibrantmusicteaching.com/membership to sign up for that, and let me know if you've any questions at all about that in the comments. Bye for now.